And it's 3 o'clock, so I guess I'm gonna. Oh, right. Wait a second. Fuck. Get up there. No, sorry. That's above your pay grade. Oh, sorry. Okay, gonna call the meeting to order, March 9th, 4 p.m. Sorry about that. Approval of the minutes from last month. Everyone had a chance to read the minutes. Did we have a motion to approve?
One thing, it states in there that the narrative for the EPA for the for the with John had helped. John did help, so. Just want to give credit where credit's due.
Get that.
I helped you did it, so. You all did it, so.
Okay, did you make the motion then? You did. Okay, you have a motion to approve the minutes. Second,
Second motion.
okay. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
But it's, yeah.
Well, I wasn't part of that meeting, so I'm just, well, be next time.
I know, I was in Florida.
You were supposed to be watching these.
I was actually on a plane when you were having the meeting.
We didn't have anybody online.
That's somewhere we did west.
Nope. Okay, okay. Any topics from the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, you have about 3 minutes.
My name is Nancy Reed and
You want
I'm
to come up, and sit at the,
sure. My name is Nancy Reed and I'm here on behalf of Unite in Prayer. And we would like to donate to Columbia View Park a bench, a 6-foot bench. And I looked at the resolution number 1547. And it says that they shall be made of wood. Beforehand, I had found a Amazon, an aluminum, it's rust proof, lightweight aluminum materials with protective powder coating. And I was wondering if I could use that to donate. And then I think that was my only question. And the plaque has to be brass.
we've never had anybody out.
Can I do stainless steel?
Yeah, I believe they're all brass that we have now. I don't know.
Brass toned, yeah.
I don't know that that's law, that they have to be brass.
On here it says brass, but
Okay.
I think I have somebody, I think he was planning stainless steel. So
Okay, I don't know.
I wondered if that was up here.
There, like,
So, okay, so the minimum all right with these benches?
I couldn't tell you without reading what she has there.
You want to look at it all?
Sure.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I don't think we've really been putting
That's your-
actual wood ones in quite a while.
I told you what your rules are.
We have people explain to us every once in a while, we have laws here and there.
Yeah, it does state strictly brass. And the size of it. I don't know how that would. Change or what the process is.
I mean, I can get brass, I just. I don't know anything about that.
I don't want to say, it doesn't have to be solid brass. I would say it'd have to be brass tone or colored. Because I know the
It
ones,
says brass, doesn't delete.
I know the ones that are going on up at the Centuries at Nob Hill, those lines, well, they're just plastic, but they're brass colored. Because the price of brass, somebody's gonna steal it.
Well, those little plaques are about $225 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the process, if you want to change that, are you guys aware of how that goes?
So is the,
has it already been acquired?
No, thank goodness. Yeah.
is there an attempt to have uniformity with in the park system?
There has been previously with the Trex benches. But I don't know that that's in an ordinance or anything to be
We should just talked about it.
Yeah, I know they talked about it, but I don't know if it's in a written form. I got to look into it and get back to you, I suppose.
Okay.
It would be answered.
Should I give you all the,
If you can, and I can just make a copy and get it back to you, or however you want to do that.
I can just give it. You can give me your card.
And you were saying what, in Columbia's part? Or where
This
was,
one down here, yeah.
because then we'll have to eventually hear where you want to put it down there.
Yeah, location will be something else that'll have to be approved, but yeah,
Okay,
Let me-
my phone number and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Nancy.
okay,
Okay. Thank
I
you
will
all.
get back to you.
Then did we have somebody else?
This is to do with, what we're going on with the golf course. So I don't know, usually if you have discussion, others comes in space, they do, which would be in the, discussion items, so I'd make a motion that we forward the discussion items tonight.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
do that and let everyone speak.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a motion, it has to be seconded.
I'll second that motion.
Guess it's on to number 2.
Actually, can I take that back? Can we, uh. Well, one of the things that's on the agenda is I need some help getting caught up on speed on the processes of it, how this works. Can we talk about that first?
Don't think it's really well. You know,
We're a little free here, so.
that's not, we're not. Restricted to
Okay,
Okay.
those. So you decide.
I'll keep my second, but with the caveat that the process has been confusing to me, having witnessed a few of your meetings, including this golf course discussion, which is what you're gonna talk about. So I just want to say that the process of how you guys have been talking about that has been confusing to me.
It's confusing to us.
It'd be done.
Okay,
The adding it to the master. Yeah.
so
Get
great.
into all that here in minutes. Okay, well, coming, I'd have it, okay. Going to number 2 now, Commissioner Baker, rules of the process. Have you read what's
You
in?
need a motion and the motion.
Oh, okay.
Seconded.
Correct, you're correct, excuse me. Be back up then. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we go with the
Yes,
discussion items
Yeah.
first.
we're not gonna have a long discussion when it comes to all that stuff. It's.
They could be potentially, like,
Okay, number 2 now then, rules and process.
We're still.
Oh, okay, did we vote on it?
We voted on the motion to bring this up. And then start with the discussion items, so we can get Dave to speak, as he's gonna speak about the.
Well, okay,
So we're gonna.
okay, now that's under the master plan is what you're saying? You wanted to speak under the master plan?
Well, we're gonna.
let's clarify the motion. The
Yeah,
motion
yeah,
is
let's-
to amend the agenda. To talk about the golf course specifically and discussion
Well,
items.
that is one of the things we're gonna talk about, the master plan, plus we're gonna talk about Mountain Creek Reserve. Add these two.
Okay,
That's why I'm asking to bring out the discussion items, because we have Dave here rather than. Him wait until the end of this to.
Yeah, we've got to hold to the thing a certain amount, you know, I
We
mean,
just made a motion, we approved it, and so the discussion items are on top.
something that we usually do at the end of the meeting.
Yes, we've changed. Just one.
I'll tell you what. I'm tired of all this crap. I don't want to be chair anymore. I didn't realize we're talking about totally moving the whole meeting around with the vote that we just had. I don't need this much stress in my life. We have an order that we're trying to do things in. And
Are you all right to hang out?
I don't want to cause a problem. I mean, you.
yeah. I mean, we have a certain order that we've done every meeting that I've been around in. And just suddenly now, just because of the golf course, we got to throw things around.
Oh, it's just silly.
We can be a little flexible, I think.
Agenda items before.
Yeah, but aren't we supposed to hold true to what's published a certain amount?
No, we can change anything.
I think the motion, the intent of the motion, if I'm understanding it right, is to accommodate our guests,
Yes.
not necessarily.
And I apologize. We have golf practice going on and I wanted to come down and if I could make a 5-minute presentation real quickly and then I get back to the practice.
Okay, I just wasn't prepared to get into all this at this time. I thought it was coming up at the end. We had several things to go through beforehand.
Maybe,
Okay, there's motion been made and passed. I guess we're changing it. Okay, discussion items.
I think Dave wanted to speak, we have him speak, is that what we pay for it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to have this.
Sorry, I don't mean to cause any issues with that.
Hey, be flexible.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Like something like when we were warming up, okay. Yeah, I just think the community's had a golf course.
Oh, you gotta state your name and your address, where you live.
My name is Dave Lawrence. I live in Columbia City. I've been the golf coach here for 23 years at the high school, just an assistant coach now. And yeah, and we've made do with a practice range for the last few years because the prior owner to the golf course, obviously closed it. We didn't have a place to practice. It's not just our team, Scappoose comes up, practices out there now, but the kids really, and I believe the community need that golf course. It's been here since the early 60s. I go back to my dad actually designed the golf course on a piece of cardboard for the Johnson brothers when they had a dairy. So it's not a dairy anymore. But it's always been a focal point of the community that a lot of people went out there and spent a lot of time. It was a lot of camaraderie between St. Helens, Scappoose, people from Rainier. And the owners that have it now have I'll just call it a very ambitious plan that's going to take a lot of money, but I don't know if it's going to actually have a golf course again. The two owners that were partners that bought it just recently have split up. One of the owners, I was talking to him today and he's getting paid in a couple of more increments to do that. But the city almost bought the golf course one time back in the early 70s. And Jim Davis was in charge of the Parks Department here. And yeah, they didn't get the financing in place in time. And it's always been a private golf course since then. The owners have all made a good living there. They've worked hard, but they've all made a good living. But a couple of them that sold unfortunately got divorced and had to sell the golf course. But it is a moneymaker, and it's a real an attraction for the community for people to go out and use that. My thought is if the city could strike a deal to buy the golf course, it does generate a pretty good amount of money, and that would help then the Parks Department, which was the original plan back in the 70s for the city to get that, because it was a moneymaker. And then it gives the city a significant amount of money to put into the other parks, which it seems like that's always an issue. I don't know if the current owner, he's out of town, he's out of the country. I kind of got an idea what he might be asking for. They had an appraisal on it for the other partner. And I don't even know if he was considering selling it, but if he is, I think the city would do well to purchase it. So I don't know what the initial steps would be. If you guys have any questions, if I can answer them.
You also said that, to get back in shape because it's not back. Hasn't been maintained, right? So there would be, we had discussed volunteers and you said you could get a bunch of volunteers.
The men's club is from St. Helens Golf Course is actually playing up at Wildwood, and they offered these owners also to go in. They have equipment and I have some equipment, and we know people that would volunteer to get the golf course back in playable condition and then continue to improve it after that. It's a long process, but I think within even a month, it could be playable and then it would start generating revenue. And as it continues, go ahead,
So
Jerry.
Dave, I'm kind of familiar with what's going on there too. But the O'Meara's owned it, the ones who own Wildwood. And it was very successful. And it was very successful, the owner before,
Jeff Sterling.
and when Jeff Sterling and his wife.
Yes.
So then the O'Meara sold it, and made a huge profit. And the guy who bought it, I'm putting words in his mouth, didn't know how to run a golf course, basically ran it into the ground.
That's true. He supposedly bought it for his brother. His brother ran into some health issues, never came out to run the golf course. And then Suki didn't know how to run a golf course and maintain it.
So the point I'm trying to make is, for a long period of time, my daughter worked there one summer. And for a long period of time, the golf course was profitable. I never saw the books, but
Yes, it is. And it has been. For an example, go ahead.
Well, I'm just curious where it is, because I don't know, I'm not familiar with this property. The only golf
It's
course I
in
know.
Warren on Hazen Road.
Inside the city limits.
yeah.
Because my whole question to this is, at this time, we were going to be talking about here possible termination of this commission and many other things that are going on in the city. The city has no money, from what I understand, to keep its current employment going. We're waiting on a ballot measure. I just don't see where money would come from at this time. Is there money available for a golf course that we're talking about? I don't think so.
So let me just clarify, there's a master plan, we don't have money for anything, really.
Right.
So that's why we put it on the master plan.
Okay.
Because then we have the option of trying to get grant money. That's the idea behind it.
Have you gone to the county? To me, it'd be better county because it's outside the city limits.
Well,
One of the things, I think, and I know Scott's brought this up too. And granted, this is not gonna happen in the next year or two. It's just not gonna happen.
yeah,
But like, it's gotta get on the master plan before we can do anything.
it's just a first step.
Okay, then
There could
that's
be
all we need to talk about.
multiple government agencies can be involved in these things. It would be nice, in my opinion, if we could get the county, the city of Scappoose, and the city of St. Helens to go together to promote this, because this would promote Columbia County. That would be my take, on it. So, and I know that like up in, I don't know if you guys ever been to Centralia, but they have an athletic facility up there that's just second to none. It's like 100 yards plus by 100 yards, 2 softball courts inside, But the school district, the city, and a professional baseball player went in to get it. And it's incredibly busy. I've only been there one time, but I've been told that it's booked almost all the time. So I think this would be better if it was a joint project to the county and the 2 cities.
Because I don't even know if the city has staff time to even look at anything right now like that.
Well, I don't think this is gonna happen right away.
Okay, then we don't need to be talking about the formalities. All we need to do is get it on the master plan and vote on it and let it lay where it is.
Vote on it to get it on the master plan, then it goes to the city council for them to vote on to put it in the, add the addendum to the master plan. So this is something that.
Does it then go to the city? Do they form a committee? Okay.
No,
No, it just lands on the master.
And it may happen that nothing may never happen to it. It just goes into the master plan and may just sit there.
Okay. But it's the first step that we have to go.
Don't hold your breath, Dave.
Yeah, it's not a.
Okay,
Maybe this summer we'll have it open. It's.
Okay.
no,
Okay, fine. Sorry, do you have any other questions? I mean,
yeah, I mean,
I do, cause I'm curious about the league that you talked about, cause one thing that I think that you coming to talk to this board about is it demonstrates that there's interest beyond Scott, that this is a thing that the community wants.
yes.
That's our role as being parks commissioners, is to serve the community in making recommendations to the city council for our parks and our amenities. So I'm curious, like, is this about this league and this group of volunteers? Like, what is that? Can you tell us more about what that is?
Well, this
is dragging longer than I wanted.
Yeah, I could probably address that as well as Dave can.
Sure.
I guess. I don't know. I play in the men's league. I've been playing it for 20 years. In fact, I was almost late today because I played golf. Really nice up at Longview, by the way.
Okay. It was nice out there until we got hailed on.
But it's a thing in St. Helens. I guess that's what I'm
So-
asking. Is there a thing?
St. Helens Men's League. Now it's all men and there's no reason there can't be a women's league.
The women's have a club also.
Yeah.
I'm giving us about.
I'm not
5
familiar
more
with the
minutes,
women,
and we need
but-
to wrap it up.
But for years,
I'm.
we played in St. Helens. The men's club played at St. Helens. Then it was closed down. We moved to St. Helens. There's some, not me, but there's several people that are very, very involved with golf. I mean, it's like their thing. And they were willing to put a lot of time into the course. Dave's put a lot of time in the course. I even volunteered to put some time. So there are people that are willing to kind of get the course up. So, it would be good, I think, for the St. Helens High School for their golf team. I don't know about Scappoose. I'm just saying that would probably be, do they practice at Wildwood?
Yeah.
Okay,
All 4 teams, boys and girls, both schools.
yeah, but they'd probably be happier if it was in St. Helens, So,
Okay, we got
so
that.
yes, there is a need. And the other thing, I've said this at a meeting before. I'm not a financial guy, but in the summertime, every Friday, about 12 of us play up every Friday up in Longview at Mint Valley. And Mint Valley is owned by the city. It's their golf course, the one that the city owns. And they had leased it out to a person or a corporation for years. And the city decided they were gonna take it back over because it was making money. And I happened to be there one day when the employees were all talking. They were just saying, oh, this is gonna be a disaster. When the city takes it over, government can never do anything right, da, 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 da. It was kind of interesting listening to. But then when the city did take it over, the guy that was the superintendent there, took care of the course, he ran the course. They improved the cafeteria, they improved the course, and they become a lot more user friendly. And they make money. Now, can you guarantee that this will make money? In the past, it has. And with the population growing, I would think that it does have the potential, to make money.
My question with all of this, how much of an investment are we talking about that somebody would have to put out?
It hasn't been studied to that degree.
Well, we're studying it very seriously here right now.
We're just discussing it to put it on the master plan.
Master plan.
Okay, we're in discussion items.
So I asked, about the people that, play here. There's a lot of golfers in St. Helens.
My question is directly related to if it's appropriate to the master plan, and we're discussing that now because we've moved that discussion item to now.
We're on discussion items, not the master plan discussion item.
Is there?
I took it.
I'm asking about the community need, and it's been answered. It seems like that there is a community need.
I'm sorry, I've taken a lot of your time. If you have, I see you quite often. If you want to just talk to me.
I think this is the place. I think
Okay.
this is the place and the
Okay.
time, and we're doing our job.
Well, we should have had it more on here that we were gonna get into a long discussion about a golf course.
I think with your question, it's gonna benefit the youth, it's gonna benefit our high school kids, it's gonna benefit a lot of adults, and it will bring in some tourism. That's my answer to that.
Thanks, Deb.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Then we need to just vote on it, get it out of the way, let the city council do what they want to with it if they want to progress on it. I'm not gonna sit here and argue the merits of a golf course.
I don't know why you're being so contentious. I really do.
Because the city doesn't have any money. They're threatening to cut so many things. Why are we even discussing this at this time is what I'm saying.
It would have to be a grant. Somebody would have to write a grant for it.
City doesn't have any money from what I understand. That's why I was hoping we were gonna have what Scott was gonna say about our commissions and get into a little thing about what type of finances are we looking at? How serious of problems are the city in? Instead, we're talking about recommending a golf course when they're talking about jacking our water bills up.
Recommend.
Hey, guys. Hey, wait a second.
That's why I'm gonna, this is my last meeting
We don't
as
need to
chair.
argue here. Let's,
I'm over
let's
and
just
done with
put
it.
it on the master, let's put it on the master plan and.
We're gonna vote on it.
Well, part of the master plan, I overlooked it being on the old business. That's why I said discussion.
Yep.
I apologize for that.
Mhm.
But with the master plan, we're also discussing the Milk Creek Reserve. too.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
It's not just,
So it's a quick, simple yes or no. If Milton Creek comes on into the master plan, we don't have a huge, long discussion on it, do we?
Really, I mean, I had a slideshow I was gonna make, but I didn't get it done in time to submit it.
So insert myself, the significance of this being on the master plan is that it elevates it in city's priorities and able to pursue grants when it's on a list that shows priority in a master plan, that's more likely to receive some, funding, and that's really the ask here, I believe.
Just hopes and dreams.
yeah, that's what it's been, what I've just said.
And like I said, we should talk, somewhere down the line, we should talk to Scappoose City, we should talk to the county.
Yeah, maybe Spruce wants to join.
Yeah, get your first step first. You gotta figure out what you're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, if the city doesn't have money, what are we gonna have them going out and wasting staff time when we're getting a possibility of a cut in our commission because of staff time being here for our meetings?
You could, yes, you could.
So let's just vote on it, be over and done with it.
We have our agenda, something. I just don't understand the intention.
Cause we're trying to move a meeting along and we're getting bogged down in a golf course.
Bring this up. It's just everything's by the book, and I don't know why the anger. Just don't understand.
Okay, this is bigger. I'm ready to walk out right now, just so you guys know.
If it's myself. Not because of this, because of something else. So, you won't have me to have an issue.
Can we I would like to make a motion that we address this topic before the evening's concluded. But I think we need to take a breath, like, because there is some anger in the room and it's not an appropriate time to make a decision about something. But also, I don't think it should be pushed to another meeting. Does that make sense as a motion? Like, I mean, like, seriously, I feel like making a motion that we all take 3 deep breaths together as a commission. Yeah,
But this is getting so convoluted, I don't even know where what goes fits into what we're even trying to do now. Discussion items, which we were said this was supposed to be, is about reports from the commissioners. And that's what you asked us to be under, didn't you? Discussion items, or you wanted it under business?
So, overlook the master plan as a standing. Related fund.
Yeah,
That's why I went to the discussion items, because that's
okay,
the secondary thing.
okay.
These are coming up.
you know,
That's why I went to that.
that's why we have an order that we try to follow to keep the meeting, you know, for different things that are going on, not starting to jump
Really?
around.
Okay, folks, I apologize for, causing, some harsh feelings here. I need to get back to golf practice for our high schoolers. But I appreciate you
Thank you for
taking the
coming.
time.
Thanks for coming.
And if I can answer any other questions or help out on that further down the road with the council or whatever.
And Dave, thank you very much for coming.
I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
I am embarrassed by this myself.
Yeah.
You want to talk to them?
Now you're leaving, Scott?
Yes,
It's
Are you
nothing but
voting on
he-
something?
He's had some people that. Yeah, it's family issues. That is extended family. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, now I'm totally lost on what we're supposed to do.
Well, one way that we could frame this is that would put us back on track to follow the agenda the way you would like as the chairperson, is if we just interpreted that as public comment from the floor, which is exactly what it was. And it would have, if we would have followed the agenda exactly as it was written, that is exactly what would have happened, only we asked some questions.
Mhm, mhm.
And we can just carry on exactly with the agenda as it's written
Mhm.
from here. And then we could vote on that topic when it comes back where it is on the agenda as
Mhm.
it's written, and that
Yeah.
will give us some breathing room between now and then.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is that, what do you all think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
okay. So then I guess back to number 2. Roles and processes. Have you read anything in the Parks and Trails Master Plan and all the other stuff about it?
Yeah, I have. I've read the handbook, the Parks Commission handbook that was given by the city staff. I've perused the master plan. I haven't read it front to back yet.
Mhm.
The reason I asked for that to be on the agenda was because I have listened to a couple of meetings, and the one I sat in on, I was, and I'm gonna ask for everybody's patience a little bit. I'm just asking for some understanding on how this board works. Because I was getting the sense that you're either in a process of transitioning how you as commissioner members evaluate the parks. I was confused with the roundtable discussions versus the assessments versus the assignments. So I wanted to ask like what those things are, and like are you trying to figure out what you're doing with that?
We are.
Yes. And maybe walk me back a little bit why you're talking about it, what you've decided, where you are in the process, because it feels kind of like
It's
don't
being very
happen.
confusing even to me right now. We had a very good chair. She set up a whole thing with park assessment tools, wanting to rotate the commissioners to different parks every 3 months, go out to 2 parks, come up with this big form. Have you ever even seen one of those forms, Buck?
What's that?
One of those forms from the park assessment tools? Have you ever had
Yeah,
any?
I've seen them.
Have you?
I got them one time. Scott asked me to go through them, get back hold of them.
Some of us seem to think that it was a waste of time. We used to have a system where every person would take 1 or 2 parks that they would look after, give their input on. And then after many years of that, for some reason, it was deemed that that wasn't good enough. And I'm from the old way. I like the way we used to do it. Person who was doing all that information is left the board. I'm not really a paperwork person, so I don't have any input for that. So that's why I don't know if I'm that good of a chair for you guys, because I'm not a paperwork person. I said that right from the beginning.
Or one of the things when we voted on this the first time, it was about 50-50. I voted for it. I really wasn't for it, but you know, kind of. So what we were doing is just like Howard was saying, you know, we'd take one park for 3 months and we'd go there one time. And then we'd turn in a form that you can look at. Basically, I'm speaking for everyone here, I guess. It wasn't a real popular thing. I mean, I didn't mind doing it, but we didn't think it was really that valuable, to be quite honest. Then we're gonna talk, I put it on the agenda today, and then one of the things I came up with, and I'm not saying we should do this, because if they don't want to do it, we shouldn't do it. Is I said, well, that's kind of a nice idea that we all saw at least every park every year. So what I suggested was every month, you know, we visit a park. when I say we visit a park individually. So 2 months ago, we said, okay, we're gonna visit Great Cliff Park. And then supposedly all of us, if you wanted to, you go visit Great Cliff Park, and then we come in, like today, Great Cliff Park, we can discuss Great Cliff Park. We talk about the things that we like about it, the things that should be built, like I've got some, like 3 suggestions for that park, you know, and. Maybe they should eventually go on the master plan, at least some of them. And then say next month we pick another park. We go to it, it might be a real small park, it might, you know, so there's, you know, and we go and we all look at it and say, okay, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, this is what we think should be improved. And the reason I suggested that was because I thought it was really a good idea that we all visited every park every year, which probably most of us do anyway, but I mean, in a formal way, we go there and we actually, besides just going there, we look at it and we
Evaluate it.
kind of evaluate in our own mind. And then we come back and we discuss it. That's kind of what I would like to see. Is that what you're talking about with roles and processes there?
Yeah, I was just trying to get a sense of what you all were trying to figure out.
Plus, you're always free to go to any park you want to see what it is, and Buck is real receptive if you see a deficiency there or something or a hazard.
Well, as Park Commission members, my personal opinion is that we should have some interest in all the parks and be familiar with all the parks
Mhm,
and be able to speak to them, because
mhm,
that's. I mean, that's my understanding of this commission's role, is to advocate for the park system.
mhm.
And however process we come up with as a board to make that happen.
How it can best
is-
benefit the community.
Yeah. Personally, that's how I weigh on that.
So,
Paperwork doesn't really, is a tool. It's a tool to help you make an evaluation. You
mhm,
can use it or not.
mhm, mhm.
Um. And then the other reason I wanted to ask about rules and processes is because I was curious how effective it is for this, and it feels a little dysfunctional, to be honest, sitting in this meeting. Like, if somebody on this board has something that they want to advocate for, an idea, how they make that recommendation to the city employees, and discuss it amongst ourselves. So I was getting a sense before this meeting that there was something happening. And there is something happening, some dysfunction in this group.
Mhm.
So that's why I asked for this to be on the agenda. So now I want to make it even a more deliberate ask, like, how do we work through this
Mhm.
problem? I see a problem.
We've spent hours on all of this in the last year or two,
Yeah, but that's
endless hours.
That's
and
what
now
we're here to do, is
sitting
talk
it
about
again.
things.
And I'd much rather see us talking about parks and what we're doing and trying to get parks better. And the last 6 months, a year, we've been bogged down in so much protocol. That's why this is my last meeting being chair. I once been on the commission, but I'm resigning chair. I do not need this aggravation out of this commission. And I don't like losing my temper and my cool on things that could just be done real simple and quickly, like, yes, we.
I'm not the vice chair.
On everything. And it just seems like it goes nowhere sometimes. And I don't want to be wasting my time and other people's time and feeling that I'm not leading the group correctly. So this is my last meeting to chair.
Last time the parks assessment came up, we decided on Jerry's.
We try it one
We
time.
tried
Yeah.
the idea, yeah,
Mhm.
and then that's,
Okay.
discuss that today and get an idea for
Yeah,
how that.
that's-
So I guess,
Or we want to do it.
so that's it. Basically, we've got like 3 choices. Go on with the park assessment tool, with Jerry's idea, or go back to the way it used to be.
I think we're workshopping it stuff, yeah.
Okay, so thanks. That helps.
Sorry for.
Um.
I know it's confusing.
Well. it's been clarified a little bit. You're in the process of trying on these different things.
Mhm.
And there's some dysfunction in this group that I was picking up on and has been
Mhm.
confirmed. So
Mhm.
Definitely been a little,
Yes.
for the last few years. Probably lost.
Yes. That's why I'd like to get away from it, and get back to.
My suggestion is that we move on, guys. Let's move on. Lori, are you happy with number 2?
Yeah, I think it will.
I think after a few more meetings, don't let us chase you off after one meeting. It'll calm down and you'll see the way that it works more out if we can get
I
back.
have
to
some
where
things
we were.
going on here that are pretty cool.
Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, number 2, check.
Okay.
I already
thank
got
you.
it. I already.
Okay.
Appreciate your patience, though.
Mhm.
in asking.
Yes, you're up, Ashley. It's hard.
So I was in touch with Emily, who wants to host the Friends of McCormick Park volunteer group. From my understanding, she has a volunteer session planned, a work party planned for March 28th. And I was curious if the group was considered an official group, had gone through any like proper channels with the city. So I reached out to her and she's having a hard time figuring out how to get that process going. And so I was hoping to figure out the proper communication channels and help her with that. And like kind of take lead on it to help her make it more official. Also with her volunteer, her work party, she told me that she hadn't signed any paperwork, so maybe there's some paperwork that she needs to fill out. I just wanted to make sure for any liability.
Have her contact me. I've talked to her before.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm aware of the March 28th date and that. Yeah, if just give her my info and have her get a hold of me and it's simple. It's a simple process to get it done. I'll probably talk to her and then pass her on to Tori, but yeah, we'll get it done.
right, okay,
She needs.
okay, thank you.
You know what time she was talking about on the 28th?
I'm not positive, I think 9:30.
More details to come out on that of where she's meeting, or would she say we were meeting too? I can't.
I don't remember the exact location. She made a flyer for it.
Thank you for that. Okay, Jerry.
Okay,
Yeah.
number 4. Great Cliffs Park.
Mhm.
So the suggestion I made, I wasn't here last drill because I was gone on vacation. Actually, on rain on the way back. But the suggestion I made is what I said a while ago. I guess I don't need to repeat that.
Mhm.
And so, we're gonna discuss Great Cliffs Park. And the thing that I look at Great Cliffs Park, there's several things that I would like to see. One, when Jennifer was here, she talked about putting in a pier. And I thought, I'm not sure, that this city, they got a grant to do the permitting and everything, but not a grant to actually build it. So this pier would go at the far end of Great Cliffs Park. It would not be for motorized boats. It would be for fishing and for non-motorized boats. I would like to see that on the master. Another thing, I know John brought this up and I think it's really a good idea, is that, eventually, and this is not gonna happen overnight either. We're gonna have the river walk that goes all the way down here, which is gonna be really cool. We're gonna have the neatest place between Vancouver and Astoria. We really will. Yeah, we will.
Mhm.
And so we have the river walk down that way. And then we have the parks here. And then eventually we go all the way up here. And one of the things that John mentioned, and I think is a good idea, and I'd like to see this on the master plan, is that we continue with the fencing that they have out there. Now, obviously, it'll skip a big area. It'll skip the area between the courthouse and the other side of the marina, but on the other side of the marina, we could have a section, of that fence. So it's kind of a continuation. Okay,
What fence are you talking about?
down here, I guess it's a metal fence, steel. It's brown, rusty.
Where
Or did they
at the-
paint it
It's,
rusty?
it's on, it's right on, it's part of of the park right here.
By the courthouse?
Yeah.
And the, right out
Right
front?
here.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
goes along there for, I don't know, 40 yards, John? Something like that, maybe?
In Great Cliffs? Or
No, down
Columbia
here.
View.
Yeah, Columbia View Park.
It's
more than 40 yards, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way
But
more.
a continuation of that, so that when people, do this, it's, all this is hooked together, all the way down there, all the way up to the. I like to see that, but on the master plan. The other thing is, shortly, I think, we're gonna have an urban trail that I'll talk about later on the discussion items at the very end. One of the things that we need to do eventually is to improve the trail, the cliff trail that comes down. It's okay now for people who are pretty mobile, but if you're not real mobile, it's, it's a little shaky. So those are some things I would like to see at the park. Some things that have happened to that park. Jennifer got, I think it was Jennifer. Got a grant, we have a restroom there now, which is really a nice restroom. It's very nice. The area's been paved there. It used to be there. I go down there periodically, probably 2 or 3 times a month, maybe more. And there's usually always people sitting there. So it's quite used. There's another level there when they mined for cobblestones. That used to be a big quarry there. So you go up and there's a plateau. Plateau's up high. Anyway, there's a ledge there that's 20, 30 yards wide and probably 80 yards long that's there. And
Dog park area.
that's the dog park. And I don't know if we want to do something with that, but those, so those are some of the things that I think that, we can do to the park. And I think if everyone went and looked at it, then that's my take on it. Since I brought it up, I'm done talking about it.
John? Wasn't there a thing from the Marine Board for a big, huge dock system and stuff at Great Cliffs? What's
Yeah, the Marine Board has, and it's a partnership with OVFW, where one side of it is a ADA accessible fishing pier, then there's a non-motorized boat launch on the Marine Board side of it.
Uh-huh.
There's a 25% match to that, and that's really what we're missing. So,
probably the city's financial problems now would never have a 25% match for that or?
We will, we will.
Yeah, but how long does the money last from the
We will.
Marine Board for the design for?
Things don't stay the same, guys.
Things are always changing as money gets tighter though.
You can't.
So if you snooze, you lose.
Can't drain, you gotta
It's
drain.
already done, it just needs the funding, so.
Yeah.
I'd
think
like to
the-
see, is that on the master plan, John?
No.
There is,
Here.
there's some references to fishing
Okay,
opportunities.
so when we talk about it, we can put it on
Maybe
the.
the exact-
So what's your take on the fence that I was talking about? What's your take on that?
My perspective mirroring what we have done here on the Riverwalk on the other end of the boat basin would just be fantastic. Kind of give people a destination that are here to have a little satellite post to walk down to and use the restroom, visit the docks are gonna be down there,
So what are you calling that?
kayaking.
So what are you calling that? An extension, a mirror? So for word purposes, so when we communicate, what are we gonna call it?
A boardwalk extension.
Yeah.
Boardwalk extension,
Boardwalk
okay.
Extension, yeah.
I like to see that in the master plan also.
Would that be like open to like walking and biking?
It's really small,
Very small.
walking, yes.
But I mean, if it connected Great Cliffs to the.
Beyond street.
By sidewalk and street, yeah.
The urban trail will go through there. Are you familiar with the urban trail?
Yeah, I'll get even more and more familiar with it.
Yes, you will.
I think those are all really fantastic ideas
Mhm.
for Great Cliffs.
Mhm.
And I'm familiar with it too, and that dog park area is great as a dog area, but it could be a fantastic picnic area also.
Prime view.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. There's one picnic bench. It's lovely.
I don't want to go.
We actually poured 5 pads for the markers in there.
Oh, thanks.
That symbol will be going on. Okay, you done then, Jerry?
Well, this was supposed to be a discussion. I said my 2 cents worth.
Okay. Nope. I like what you said. It'd be interesting to see how that would tie in with what the Marine Board did, because they had a whole bunch of dock and everything else that would go out there. And so I'm wondering if a lot of that wouldn't happen whenever they do the 25% match for it, you know, I mean. No, I'd bring
Oh, I
up
think the
Dune
dock's a
Blue,
great
but-
idea.
Yeah,
Or
I
the
mean, that,
pier, I should say.
that was, what, probably 2-3 years ago that they proposed that dock, so. It's not moving very fast,
It's just money. Right now it's money.
that's totally it, money.
John says.
And I don't know how long a Marine Board grant would last. It would be indefinite, you know, 10-15 years if the same thing would be possible. You know. I'd love to see it happen today. Yes. Just don't know what to say about the city budgeting for anything. The next few years. Not being real forthcoming.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful idea and. And that staircase really takes it up. It's really 3 levels, because you have the riverfront, you have that second tier, the dog park area, and then that staircase takes it to my neighborhood. So, I mean, I walk that from my home down to the downtown. And then on the other side of my home is the other connector area to 4th Street and the Botanical Gardens. I mean, it's all so walkable. And 2 really fantastic parts of St. Helens that are both underutilized. So,
Always someone out there, always. I've never seen it empty.
yeah,
Sure.
and if we can spread out, St. Helens has so much river to enjoy. We can find our elbow room and really,
I was serious when I said that this will be the nicest area between Portland and Astoria. Really,
yeah.
it has the potential to be there.
I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime though.
Well, it might not be in my lifetime either, but
Yeah,
it'll probably happen.
So do we need to, I'm not up on the whole making motions part, but,
we're gonna get to that in a couple of minutes here when we get to the putting things onto the master plan.
Does anyone else have anything else they want to say about Great Lakes Park?
the improvements that have happened in the last 10 years are significant. Like,
Mhm.
it's a big deal, the bathroom down there and that pavement around.
Yeah. My main thing with the trail down to like the beach part, that's is the Blackberry, it's kind of a hindrance. That's really all I have to add. Not too much of a problem to deal with, but.
Well, the other one too, that. Party some evening in the next
Mhm.
few weeks is that big fruit tree there, that I be going up
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
And I noticed that our madrone, this is there, FID going up.
Okay.
And you can pretend it with the ground ivy. I'd love to get some people for an hour or so some evening. Especially since it's light later in the next month or 2 to go down there. And out those trees.
yeah, I'd be done.
One thing I would like to add, like, I don't know if it's appropriate, but one of these days, there was a little landslide there on the cliff trail.
Yeah.
In the next few months, I'd like to go down there and take my shovel and clean that up.
Want to do that yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, have
Or you
fun.
can have your work crew do it if you'd like. That would be fine with me. And the other thing I'd like to see done is at the very top where the trail goes through the chute there, the first, 10 or 15 yards. There's a limb in there, or a root, probably should be removed. And it could be widened just a little bit because most of the rocks that are down there are loose at the bottom of that trail. So if you want to do those 2 things, that would be okay with me.
All right.
I've always wondered if we could put a little gravel in that area too, if we could, that would smooth out some of the rocks that. If that. you know, they hard to get out, there's something.
Yeah,
sitting
it
there.
looks like it'll kind of stay there without this, yeah, we'll see what.
You know, I mean, the other one that we've been in without, it is the very top of it's real slippery too. I don't know if we would ever knock a few rocks that it could be a little bit tap on, or that we open a can of worms. We do that and then somebody slips.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
Natural anymore.
Yeah.
But the very top of that could be. It's the top 10, well, you know what the top of that. Real rough.
So Clifford, I mean, Buck, are you thinking about maybe having your crew do that? Those two things I mentioned.
We'll look it over and see what we think would be best.
Okay, just let me know in the next month or two.
Those are the types of things I like to be more volunteering, or moving gravel, or going out with Jerry and helping break out some of the rocks and that type of thing. That's more of what I'm in this commission for.
Hands on, yeah.
Yeah, hands-on stuff. Okay, so you done, Jerry?
I'm done. Does anyone else want to make any comments about Great Cliff Park? Okay, next question, then I'm not done. So the next question is, do we want to just let this go? Or do next month, we want to pick another park and all of us between now and next time, go look at the park and come back and say what we like and dislike? It doesn't matter to me, whatever people want to do. I'm good either way. But I do think it's a good idea that it would be nice. I think it is a good idea that, you know, in a year's time, we all go visit the park, maybe have a brief discussion on it.
That, yeah, personally, I kind of like a hybrid approach of like what your idea is, that we all have one park that we're looking at the same time and discussing, and then also having maybe our own park. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be interested in, because I'm new, also seeing the assessment and personally using, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's a form I can.
Have put eyeballs on that and use it at whatever park we all decide to visit. As a-
Yeah. I think the form that we were using works well.
And you can use it or not use it.
Right, yeah, so it just gives you good prompts to look at, yeah. And your email's on here, I can send it to you.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, I probably need that looking into. I don't even know where it went.
You want to suggest for next?
Oh,
Do we want to, yeah, we could,
I'm not gonna suggest a park. I'm gonna let the group do that.
yeah, how do we decide?
Just someone pick a
So I-
park and say,
out of
do
a
we wanna
hat.
do it or not? do it? Might be better to pick one of the bigger parks, like, you know, McCormick or.
I think the botanical gardens would be good.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
There we go. Yeah, because you're doing a work party there.
Yeah,
A lot going into.
When's the work party there?
April 18th.
Oh, really? What time?
Decided. I think 10, I'll get back to you.
What was that?
The date,
Uh-huh.
April 18th.
You changed, did you change it?
Okay, so yeah, so we chose March 20th tentatively, and then I found out that the Friends of McCormick Park was on March 28th. Okay,
Yeah, and I'm planning to come with the weed eater if that would be useful for us there.
yeah, I'm sure. That'd be awesome.
If that's something else Jerry has too, the weed eater. So before.
I decide to do Botanical Gardens as our next group assessment.
I second that. That's a motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Botanical Park next, before our next meeting then, you know. Okay, I guess I'm up next. I'll try to make this quick. Guys kind of laughed at me a little bit last month, but got a little more information on some of it.
Wasn't here last month.
Some of my comments were regarding that. City beach law regulations, if we're having some people that just ignore them. And then I had comments from a gentleman that was walking a cat in the park on a 30-foot leash going all over the place. And then he was making comments to the effect of like, boy, people with dogs not on a leash, or they're on a long leash like mine and they're getting tangled up. We do have a 6-foot leash law in our city parks. And I raised the question, but people thought I was kind of crazy saying, should it be animals in our city parks or on a 6-foot leash? I mean, this guy who was walking his cat, oh, there's no laws. There's all these wild cats. So what's with mine? Well, you get into some of our parks, there's a lot of native plants that are taking place along the sides of the trails. A leash that's being drugged behind something is just knocking everything down as it goes off. So now you're talking a 30-foot swath on each side of the trail with that. If he was to have somebody even on a 6-foot leash with a dog, animals do not retract quickly enough, so there's conflicts there. If it's something's on a long leash, you could have people walking all types of bizarre things and they're thinking, 50-foot leash because it's not a dog. So I don't know if that's something we want to get into trying to clarify. Do you have any comments on that one, Buck? I've even heard that we got people walking cats on long leashes.
Trust me, I've heard of it. Some people thought you were a little crazy, but no, the cat thing, I've seen it and I've heard of it. I think there is wild cats, but there's also wild dogs. There's coyotes in all of our parks also, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's really hard to enforce because we see people with their dogs not on a leash constantly in parks or out in the softball fields where they're not supposed to be on the fields and they are posted. But in my opinion, it boils down to enforcement, which to me thinks code enforcement, police officers. We can ask people to put their animals on the leashes. Most of them are we talk not real nice back to us, but I don't know that we can actually enforce it to ourselves. And I don't know that I want my guys engaging with someone because a lot of people get very offended about their dogs, especially, but, so I don't know. I think I guess you could change your ordinance to say animals, but then you're gonna get a guy there's a guy in town that has a pet duck. Cause he gotta have a leash on his duck. Duck follows him around wherever he goes,
But if you got like ours is a true nature park, that could be going off trail, eating the plants, eating.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
And to protect. And if we don't have it said somewhere that, things should be close to being on trails or something, then there is, people just go, hey, I can do whatever I want to. So I'm at a loss. I know I'm sounding crazy to bring that even up to us, but in a nature park where you've got beautiful things going around. I mean, I did see the cat jumping, lunging for things. We've got bird nests that are just a few feet off the trails and
Are
that.
you looking for just park wise or are you looking for citywide?
Just parks.
Just parks, not like down
Right,
a sidewalk or anything like that.
No, just parks. Cause I'm just concerned that, I mean, we had a lady even walking a dog on her correct leash and the guy in my neighborhood that walks his 2 dogs on 30-foot cables, she turned around and left the park because the dogs were on 30-foot cables and we haven't been able to do anything about that situation, So,
I can ask law enforcement about it, I guess, but I mean, it would just be a park rule. So I don't know. Let me ask them about it. and
we
see
can talk about it the next meeting. I decided to throw it out there, it's a complicated one because a lot of our wildflowers are starting to nest and things are starting to come up at this time. And I hate to see some of our things in a nature park or one of our other parks get destroyed by that, So that's all I have to say on that. On to number 6, Commissioner Baker, 250th celebration.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because, at the last meeting, it was suggested that, or we were invited to come up with something or participate in some way, around a 250-year celebration, so. Do you have a thought?
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Do I?
Cool.
Yeah, I was wondering when this would be appropriate, hopefully by 4th of July. I think we're talking 4th of July, right?
Well, it's,
Somewhere in that area.
that makes sense, but I don't know what the city had any ideas about.
A lot of different community organizations are kind of planning things from May to
July 4th. So that's kind of the focus area, but you could do things whenever.
One of the things I was thinking about was, I know that the state park system, I can't remember what day it is, it's like about a month or so ago, they have a day where they open their trails and people go there and walk on their trails with guided trails. I can't remember the date. But hopefully by July 4th, you know, we'll have the urban trail in
Mhm.
and we could have, you know, an urban trail walk.
Mhm. Could that be our grand opening? For the urban trail?
Oh, I don't know about that, but it could be at least a function for the, you know, for the parks.
Mhm.
And would we commemorate St. Helen's 250-year birthday? Cause that's what it is, right? St. Helen's.
Countries, yeah. countries.
Oh, the
Trees.
countries. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, have some,
1776 is when we declared independence. We didn't have a president till about 1792, I think.
A history buff.
A little bit, not much. But that would be my suggestion. It, you know, would be parks related. And, it would, you know, we could advertise it that, you know, we're. Hopefully the park, it'll be open before that, you know. But I'm just suggesting, you know, maybe it is when we open it up or something, you know.
Mhm.
You know, Bucks talked to me about a person that I need to get his name from, you know, to advertise it. Once we get it in, we've still got a ways to go. It's not a done deal yet, not a done deal. But once it is, we do want to get some publicity out there.
sounds like a double publicity thing, like two
Mhm.
birds, one stone.
So you wanna think about it, Jerry, and we'll try to pin down a date.
I just putting it, yeah.
Pin down a date at
just-
our next
I'm
meeting.
just putting that on, no, I'm just, no. Just throwing that idea out there. So when. In a little while, I guess.
Mhm.
And the trail's not in. The trail might not be done by the 4th of July. You know, there's that possibility also. So I'm just suggesting that if the trail's in, that's one thing. We could participate in the 250th birthday
Mhm.
sales. Because the trail does go through 5 parks, or it goes through 4 parks and by actually 2 other ones. Count Sand Island.
The quick swim over.
Yeah, good. So where are we gonna make extend the trail to Sand Island? No, just kidding.
That's what the pier's for. It's gonna be really long.
Yeah.
Retractable. Somebody could just crank it up.
Oh.
You guys will kill me for that joke.
Well, cool. I don't know. I think that's a
Mhm.
terrific idea.
Yeah, like the vision.
Yeah. I always thought the top of Great Cliffs, we should put up a great big huge old power tower. Make a zip line to Sand
Yeah.
Island.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
That'd be a real tourist draw.
And you could like drop, like just before you get to the island, like disconnect into the river.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Wow.
Cool. Well, maybe we can keep this idea alive as we continue to meet each month and,
Mhm.
You can come up with other ideas too. Yeah.
For other parks, so. So that's that. I guess Scott left for the possible termination. You know anything about that, John? That Scott had put on here that he heard what from the finance committee or something, that the city, if the finances don't go right, that they may eliminate board positions.
Yeah, we're in a pretty dire situation in our general fund, which is, you know, parks and things of that nature. City hall operations. On March 3rd, I sent out a notice of intent to furlough on May 1st or beginning May 1st. That's something that needs to be discussed by the council as a policy, but it also puts us in the queue for like setting that up to happen so that we're not negative by the end of the fiscal year. And So most all of the general fund employees are gonna move down to, under this initial wave, to a 32-hour week paid. And there's also this council put a $24 fee on the ballot for the May 19th ballot, which if that $24 fee is not enough to sustain current services, or there's gonna be some reductions regardless to that. But if it does pass, it lessens that burden of the furloughs, so it'd be more furloughs brought back. There's a whole lot of other cost saving durations that we're evaluating as far as how can staff is working less days a week, how can they do their core functions? Supporting this commission is a big lift. The number of meetings we have, things of that nature. Just looking at all avenues to save revenue in the general fund, so.
Could it help?
It could be a temporary condition too, right?
Could it help at all that maybe if we went to every other month, would that save you guys some?
That is one possibility, yes.
Or I'd like to throw that idea out there, you know, that maybe running all the commissions being gone, that if
Maybe.
everybody cut back to every other month, that we could buy everybody a drop more input.
Yeah, reducing public meetings from the employee side, you know, the agenda development, their time in the meeting, the time out of the meeting, doing the minutes, it's significant when you look at all of our boards and commissions.
How many isn't there only like
And
four?
we've done a lot of, we used to have like 8 or 9 commissions.
Uh-huh.
Bikes and bits and everything kind of consolidated into what we have now.
Yeah, because
Parks
we
and Trails.
just got budget committee now, Parks and Trails, library. And
And there's some that are statutory, your budget committee is statutory, your planning commission statutory, we need to have those, because those
Uh-huh.
committees will still continue
so
to.
then there's just two others, and it would be parks and library.
Library board, the library board manages most of their meetings with just one part-time staff for a little bit of it, so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, is there a way to reduce that? Cause you have 3 or 4 paid staff. Just here tonight. Yeah. Is there a way?
I don't count, cause I work all the time, so.
Just say way back when members of the commission took minutes, so is that a possibility again, or is that a?
And maybe we can have those discussions, yeah.
I'm not costing anything, cause I'm not getting paid for this. I don't get overtime.
I think before we
I
do-
don't get paid for it.
I think before we do away with the Parks and Trails Commission, you know, we should consider, as John's doing with the city, you know, cost cutting, you know, once every other month, once every 3 months, we take our own minutes. You know, we can come up with some other things, but I think that because of, you know, what's happening, you know, at Millen Creek Forest Reserve. That, you know, I don't think we want to lose that. You know, I think that's something we really need to, you know, to move forward on.
Things this commission does, I think is important.
And that's it. I mean, even though cost cutting, I mean, keeping our parks livable and everything else is something that we're doing pretty good on. And if we weren't here, I mean, I know buck gets scattered pretty thin. I like to think that we aid in him being able to deal with some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've had a little bit of conversation about if this happens, and if it does. Yes. My kind of recommendation would be if it does come down to this, just kind of goes away for a while or whatever. Go with that friends group thing and tie everything together. Stay as a unit that way. You know, it might be a little bit more for you to do on your own, but at least you got a group and you still got your thoughts and ideas. And you know, somebody showing they care about the parks.
Then we could come back and report to the city every month or 2 months.
It's an option, yeah. I mean, any citizen can report to me, to Tori, and with ideas or recommendations for what they need, and you could just do it as a group like you do now. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I don't know what the future holds, but things are a little uncertain right now. I know that.
When you meet as a commission, you're subject to all the public meeting rules and requirements of notice of minutes and quorum violations and things of that nature, except with, you know, a friends group doesn't have those same strings.
That is one benefit. You could all talk about things at different times and not have to worry about the quorum thing. You know, to where everybody could get together, but I'm just things to think about.
Oh, yeah. Keep us abreast on how that starts to pan out, so we're not the last minute, so we can. Yeah, well, let us know if there's something we can do to help, or, could we do a little more in the parks, go out and volunteer more weed eating in some of them for you, it's for save money, that type of thing. Cause I think that's what a lot of us are here for, is that our love of the parks and wanna try to keep them at the same level. And, if it means some of us doing a little more volunteering, if I know what I'm doing, I can get a little bit more out there.
Hey, hotel, we'll see what happens.
Okay. Something up on that one. Milton Creek standing item, and I see a gentleman from the port here too, to see our great dysfunctional meeting today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't really planning to talk, but since I don't speak well over cough, I did write something down in case you did want me to say anything. So first off, good afternoon, commissioners. And before I forget, I want to thank you all for your help and support with our recent Brownfield grant application. The letter of support was really important. And I am Elliot Levin. I am with the Port of Columbia County. I'm the North County Operations and Terminal Manager, which means in addition to managing our property at Port Westward, I am leading our environmental remediation efforts at our property at Railroad Avenue. That property lies on the Multnomah Channel between your property at the former Boise site and the former Armstrong Industrial Industries property. Now, I've been working with members of this commission since they came and presented a proposal for developing a trail system for McCormick Park following Milton Creek towards the Ports Railroad Avenue property back in April 2023, I believe. And we've been very excited about that project, and I've met with the commission many times, the Parks and Trails Commission, and we've taken several hikes together through the property to discuss possible trail routes and development of a trail system. In addition, we've made several presentations to our own Port Commission mentioning this project, and as we've alluded to, a description of this project and the benefits of it was included in two EPA brownfield grant applications we've made over the past couple of years. One application was not successful, but actually was just at the border of getting accepted. And the second application was just submitted and is still pending. Those applications are to request funds to start cleaning up that property. It was polluted creosote actually before the port owned it. They treated a company called Pope and Talbot treated creosote there up until 1960. We bought it in 1963. In mid, say 2006 or so, Pope and Talbot went bankrupt. So we get the benefit of having to clean up that site because we're the last man standing. A few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, there was a very well attended Parks and Trails Commission walk through the property. I think there was over 20 people there, including two of our port commissioners. So I know there is support for this project by the port, and we're certainly willing to work with Parks and Trails Commission to develop the next steps to help move this forward. So do you have any questions?
Where do you see the next step?
Well, I've talked to Scott about maybe doing an IGA. We also think we can help with some grant applications to do some funding. And because I think a planning grant might be helpful to map out where it's going. And
So is Lucas and Scott going to be your primary points of contact?
This is a Parks and Trails project, so we're certainly there to support. So I think I would reverse that, say you guys can come to me and Lindsay Goebel to, communicate how you want to go. But I will be talking to Scott later this week about an IGA and what that might look like.
I think Lucas needs to be in all these meetings if he can make it, because I think, he knows as much about that area as anyone does. So, floral and fauna, you know, geological. Maybe even historical with the Indians, or the Native Americans, you know. So I definitely think, you know, those two should definitely be always in it, and anyone else that wants to join in.
I do greatly appreciate the board and wanting to get this ball rolling faster, I guess. And even if the properties just have to sit there for a while, like having this plan as we're going to go to when there's money is ideal. Just trying to figure out the next steps.
I agree, and I want to say, we're all very impressed by Lucas. He's just such a wealth of knowledge, walking with him through the properties and hearing all these things that often I can't keep up. I don't understand them, but your knowledge is just impressive. And that makes sense. I think it's good for support staff to help keep it in front of our commissioners as well, for a variety of reasons. But there are several of us who are very excited about this project as well.
I'd almost like to see us to have another field trip, but try to go more down the port side.
Yeah, I think when the camas starts to bloom, we should do that.
Yes.
Because port side is just incredible when it's in bloom.
It really is pretty.
We have an idea of how much they may be able to recover. Got a quick question since you're here. On the back corner of where that yard is, it always has the firewood. There's a road that goes in there. Is that your road? Do people go in there to access that property and tear it up? Or whose is that?
Are you talking about from First Avenue, behind First Avenue? or-
No, right there by the bridge, just on the other side of where we took the walk. There's a small opening and people go through there.
That's not ours.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
legal.
People leave, that like vacant lot that there's a lot of garbage sometimes that appears there.
Yeah, but it's right, when you're looking at it, it's right by where that big firewood pile is that they have. And there's an access point there. Is that yours or that's somebody else's? So there's no easy way to stop people from going back there and doing things then.
Yeah, back when because I got transferred to different duties, I did reach out to that property owner a few times to see about putting at least a cable so they could bring cars back there.
Yeah.
I'll mention that to the people responsible for that property now, just to see if.
It's just a thought,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, get into their mind sometimes and price of fuel is gonna go up, so some people are looking for closer places to go out to explore with their rigs, and I would hate to see.
Yeah, I reached out because our maintenance people could have put a cable across there, but they weren't very interested in, to be honest, and I moved on to Port Westward, so.
Okay, sorry.
I can see
I
that.
thought I'd just ask that one.
Would you enjoy our meeting so far?
The first 10 minutes.
Yes, actually.
Sorry.
Excluding the first.
Sorry.
You didn't bring your dog. Where's Cat?
She's at home, but waiting for the next hike.
You have anything else to add on that at this time, Lucas?
I don't really know where to go with it for putting it on the master plan right now. But I do have a big slideshow presentation that still adding a few more details to, but it's mostly finished and I could have it ready for the next meeting. And it would be good to share with city councilors if after we approve it.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it just shows the important flora, fauna on the site and also kind of gives steps for the next ideas, I guess.
So I guess the next question is the master plan standing item. You know,
I'm gonna try to make this quick. I made a list of things I'd like to see on it. I don't think we need to discuss these forever,
uh-huh,
you know,
uh-huh.
it's just things that should be added, I think. I think one, I think we should put the Japanese garden on there.
Is there a location for that?
There is a Japanese garden, but
It's at the McCormick Park.
state.
When the McCormicks owned it, they at one time had a Japanese garden there. And I think once I get off this commission, I might work on that some possibility. Another thing I'd like to see on the master plan is the Milton Creek Forest Reserve. Another item is I'd like to see the ADA fishing and not motorized pier be on there, the one that goes down there. I would like to see boardwalk extension to go to be implemented in Great Cliffs Park. I'd like to see improvements of the Cliff Trail in Great Cliffs Park. And last but not least, the St. Helens Golf Course. And on there, I would also, I don't know if this is gonna, I'd like to also say that, you know, I would personally like to see this to be a county, St. Helens City, Kapu City endeavor to see if everyone, if all three of those government agencies could get on board. Those are the main things.
What was your first one again, Jerry?
First one was the Japanese Garden, Milton Creek Forest Reserve, the ADA fishing, non-motorized boat pier, boardwalk, extension, Great Cliffs, cliffs improvement, golf course. I'm sure there's other things that other people have. But I just wanted to kind of speed the process up.
My question is, we want to approve them as a bulk agenda or item by item? Bulk?
I think there's 5 or 6 or so on there.
Okay, then I make a motion that,
Well, I've got some things to add too.
oh, okay, go on, yeah.
I would like to see the city get a case so that the Flying Eagle can come back to the city of St. Helens, the dugout canoe. There's still a possibility we can get it back, and that was such a great piece of history from our community with all the school kids, 400 or 500 people that helped carve that boat. And it'd be neat to have that boat back around and be taken out occasionally to show off its neatness. It's actually still right now, it's actually winter, but it's getting ready to continue its trip on down the Mississippi River right now.
Oh, cool.
So it's still part of our history and stuff.
So the city wouldn't need to acquire the canoe, just a place to house it?
It'd come back to us if we had a good enough place to put it. It was being stored underneath the tarp in the city shops. At one point, their idea was to drill holes in the bottom of it, put it down on the waterfront. You know, but a lot of us would much rather see it if it was in a case where it was protected from people vandalizing it. That it still could be taken out occasionally and for special occasions could be used for what it's done. It's got quite a history. I don't know if you've heard of it.
But
It's recreated all of Lewis and Clark's journeys. Still being put on the water constantly. It's been a whole bunch on God, now I can Lake Tahoe. It's been kind of donated through Main Street to the guy who helped carve it and helped get it carved and everything else, who's being a caretaker, but he would really love to see it come back to the city. You know, so that's why I'm saying a case. Yes, Jerry.
This is just me personally. I don't know, other people probably don't feel the way I do about this.
Uh-huh.
At one time I was on the Arts Commission, Cultural Commission. When I was there, we raised like $75,000 or so, believe it or not, thanks not to me. But I don't want to call them the obelisks. I don't know that's the right term. I don't think they're four-sided. But the obelisks that are sitting on Milton Creek,
Uh-huh.
I would like to see those moved to Old Town. Because people drive by there and they're doing 30, 40 miles an hour, you know? Oh, yeah. What is that? And if you look at that real intimately, it has some incredible, beautiful art in there. Go take a look at it. I mean, it's just, they've got salmon, they've got sailing ships, they've got elk. It's unbelievable. And if those were down here somewhere where people are walking, I just think it would add so much more to the old town here. I mean, so I would like to add to the master plan that, I don't know how people feel about this, so, that the obelisks that are on the Milton Creek Bridge get moved downtown, because I just think they'd be appreciated more. I just think where they're at, it's a waste of, it's like having a
There's no
beautiful
place to
work of
stop.
art, in your kitchen or your garage, no one's seeing it, besides being in your living room where people can see it. And it's just beautiful. It's about Lewis and Clark. That's what, I've thought about this for a long time, but I don't know how other people feel. I'd like to see that on the master plan.
Well, speaking to that specifically, what about broadening the scope of that to just like incorporating art installations to the downtown area, which could potentially include relocating those,
Good term.
because yeah, you're right, they're not, it's hard to enjoy them when you're driving past them. But art on green space, or like greenways makes a lot of sense because there's so much to look at. So I guess I'm just saying,
I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever gone there and actually looked at them. I mean, it's a work of art. I mean, I think we paid $75,000 or more for those. I'm thinking $75,000. I mean, and it was money that the Arts and Cultural Commission, you know, raised.
yeah, I'm just,
Basically Kanika Peterson. Who got those? I mean,
curious if it would even be something that could be recommended just as a city housekeeping issue, like to relocate them.
that's probably more appropriate. I agree, yeah.
But a master plan item would be just like, let's include art
Yeah.
in our downtown walkways.
And again, the master plan is just like kind of what we can wish for. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But just throwing those ideas out.
Yeah.
Can I ask why it's just downtown?
Gonna work down here, yeah.
If you're like excluding the entire uptown, why?
Yeah.
why
Good point.
Just downtown, I'm just curious.
When the Arts and Cultural Commission was functioning. Yeah, they. Put art, thank you. They tried to put art every place. It wasn't limited.
All the walkable.
But I'm thinking about, the obelisk, I'm calling it obelisk. That's kind of the main thing I'm focusing on. I've already. But you're right, Buck. It should be everywhere. But maybe we can bring that up to the city one of these days. To one of our parks or- John, what's your thinking on that, or do you think about that?
Thinking of just how much work it was putting those things there. It was a significant amount of work to work with ODOT and ODOT rail and the
Sure.
foundations and the
And the electricians and.
electricians and the people that had to analyze the foundations of the bridge and chart where all the rebar was, so they missed the holes.
But the point being.
But I get, there's a
My
human.
my point on that is that, I've lived in the city for a little over 50 years. And if those were down here for another 50 or 200, those things are gonna last a long time, because they're made out of stainless steel. They're, if they were down here. Granted, it's gonna cost money to move them down here. And be a pain in the butt, and I'm sure there's some people that probably would resist the plan. But I just think, if we look to the long term, and people come and visit the downtown, like I said, a few hours ago, that, this is gonna be a great area. And that would just be something that would just really enhance this area, in my opinion. But
I
I say, John, just. Call us when you're done. Come on, Buck, no talking behind my back.
I have one thought that is kind of already in the master plan, but, and you please tell me if it's, I'm new, so I don't know what you guys have talked about before. But there's nowhere to park for the botanical gardens other than that one little spot by the Elks Lodge. And the Parks Master Plan makes mention of a connecting trail on Fourth Street and the private property that's along Lamont. It isn't so aggressive as to say to pursue acquiring that property. But it catches fire every other year and it's such a dealio. And it's also a beautiful oak camas area.
And then you're like hanging out in there.
Oh, yeah. And so do people. And if it was more of a actual park accessible space, it would just make it safer and probably a nightmare for the city, but you know,
That's a great idea.
I've been,
Well, the other idea that we had a few years ago and it didn't happen. Was on the east end of the Columbia Botanical Gardens. Bailey, Richmond Bailey and his partner, which I'll think of his name in just a second. They owned it and we tried to get the city to exchange some of their land for that land. It never really quite worked out because we talked about some property where they could build two different structures, and they didn't really want that. But it would also be nice if the city could purchase the east end of that park. You know, so the trail could kind of just continue, going, through there.
Yeah.
But I never thought about the idea you're thinking about. That's
I had considered, the GIS tech with Scappoose Bay Watershed Council said she could get me the name of whoever owns that property, and I was just gonna start there, but I've already had that idea, yeah.
well, can we add that to our list?
Yeah, I like
So
this.
what are you gonna call it, Lori?
Botanical garden extension,
Extension.
yeah.
It's Kersley.
Kersley, yeah, it's Kersley. I was trying to think of his first name.
Yeah, it's,
Think of a cigarette, think of a cigarette.
yeah, Durrell.
Durrell. The golf course in Miami, yeah.
Fill up this list.
Could be a
I love
long
it.
motion for somebody to make with so many things on it to make it sound correct.
I'll make a motion if we're done. Are you done, Lucas?
I'm almost thinking of one more for Nob Hill, if we're talking about, or how we want to word acquire more property. Nob Hill, there's 2 lots on the edge of the park that are nothing but basalt at the end of my street. And they have beautiful chemists in there too. So I don't know if how we'd want to word that. It's not a high priority, but just odd.
I think if the city could acquire all the Camas Meadows that are still around, it would be a gem for the city.
So should we say 2 lots at the end of South Third Street?
At the north end. So that would be,
Just beyond my house.
so that, what block are you in? 300 block?
Yeah,
That'd be like the 400 block.
no, it'd still be at
Okay.
3.
I'll make an amendment. I'll make it. I'm gonna leave off the obligus. Is that okay? I like your idea of just dealing with it in the city. I can see that it's not gonna happen. Till we get more money anyway. Okay, I make a motion to add to the master plan the following items. Japanese garden. To I guess I should say renovate the Japanese garden. Acquire and develop the Milton Creek Forest Reserve. Write a grant to to install the ADA fishing and non-motorized boat pier at Great Cliffs Park. Finance the extension of the Ford. I don't want to say this front part. Extend the boardwalk that extends in Riverfront Park to the other side of the marina. This is terrible. This is not right. It doesn't work out right. Let's just say extend the boardwalk into Great Cliffs Park to match what it now exists in Columbia View Park. Improvement of the cliff trail at Great Cliffs Park. Purchase, I'm just gonna say purchase, I guess, purchase the St. Helens Golf Course. Leave it at that. I'd like to see the county and the city involved in it. Construct a structure, construct a permanent structure for the Flying Eagle canoe so it can be returned to the city of St. Helens. Acquire 2 lots at the south end of 3rd Street that are adjacent to Nob Hill Park.
You can include the botanical garden extension.
I didn't write that down, Lori.
What?
I didn't write it down. And last but not least. Why don't you just go ahead and say it?
Some sort of acquisition botanical garden expansion.
So you want to buy the city between, oh God, what's the name of that
Third and
street?
Fourth and Lamont.
Between Lamont Street and Botanical Gardens. Okay, and another thing is for the city to acquire the land between Lamont Street. North of Lamont Street, extending to the Botanical Gardens to increase the size of Columbia, Columbia Botanical Gardens. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Is there anything that the commissioners that aren't here have been talking about that you know about that? Before?
That's a lot of what we've covered in the past couple of months at least.
Nothing around.
Second the motion.
Or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, number 10. That was another thing we used to do was the roundtable questions. Is neat, but I don't know, you asked a lot of them. Is it something we want to try to continue or not worry about for now?
So what I said last time, and if any of us come up with an idea, we should be able to say it like
Yeah.
when we have it, but I don't think it needs to be on the agenda.
Does it sounds good to that then? I'm cool with that. Okay, staff report.
Not a whole lot I got. We have, due to the fact that our building maintenance worker has retired, we haven't been able to replace him yet, so we have been utilizing some of the parks guys to help with the, some of those tasks. Actually, it's been quite a bit because it gets a lot of work, but the main thing for parks is we had our information sign in McCormick that rotted to the ground. We had another sign in the park rot to the ground. We've rebuilt those, rehung them. The wind phone is done. The ribbon cutting ceremony went pretty well. There was quite a few people there. It has had a few issues since being installed, but nothing bad. We've had to repaint it already, but it hasn't been vandalized yet that I know of, and things are still looking pretty good, so, yeah, it's going well, and we actually have people come to our office looking for the wind phone, which kind of surprised me, so.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me, but that's cool. Of course, the hot topic has been the budget lately. Big things with our parks right now is softball, baseball season's getting started. Everything's soaking wet and everybody wants on them immediately. So we're trying to get those taken care of. We did have some vandalism at Campbell. I don't know if you guys are familiar, there's a softball Hall of Fame cabinet on the side of one of our little buildings that the softball league put out, and they open it during their league games, and it has pictures of locals that's their Hall of Fame that have played there forever. And that got pretty trash, but they're rebuilding that. Other than that, it's just been a lot of the winter stuff, trees down, cutting up trees in the parks. Like that. Been too crazy. About all I got.
I have one thing if you're ready for it. You as a commission had requested being more involved with the planning of the River Columbia View Park, and we have a decision point. I want to show you a picture that's easier to explain. So a map of the park on one there. You'll see a little red holograph plane. That's not what we're not looking to put up lasers or anything like that. So ever since we opened the park back up, we've had moms groups and kids sitting at the using pads. What's happening is it's go to the splash pad, they run across the rocks, get up on the thing, and then run over to the seat walls. And the seat walls are very steep, and then they have rocks and drop off towards the river there. And that was designed like that intentionally. It has a sense of edge and where you're protected the railing and you have a sense of openness. We've had the architects come out, look at it. This was exactly what it meets every playground safety standard there is. It just parents are super concerned about this. If you go down there for any amount of time when there's kids down there and there's parents, you'll hear it. It's like, why did they do this? So we're looking at something of a containment to develop a sense of containment around the splash pad without creating a barrier to the boardwalk. So the architects came up with this notion of having a very low, like an 18-inch or something. They're looking at a metal fence. We got some prices on metal fences and they're pretty expensive. But you know, in the interest of protecting people's children, that get that sense of safety is really what we're looking at. Looked at some post-rated metals, design metal, over $30,000 to $50,000 to do about 50-foot section. We're thinking that in the interim, we could put up a split rail fence, like a one rail, something an adult could step over, something will slow down a kid heading towards the boardwalk. To get your input on that.
It's fine, as long as it doesn't really take away from the it's incorporated well.
Yeah, the entire design, so redesign of Columbia View Park, there was two elevations that drove every grade in there. And that was the top of the docks and the elevation of the splash pad. You'll notice even the Riverwalk itself, it has like a foot higher than these rocks. You can see the picture there, but they're intentionally set to kind of create steps and seats. And we do think that the landscape behind that will grow up and be a little more robust in the future. It can also be used as something that would create that sense of containment. People that visit that, their parents are pretty loud and persistent, and we're thinking this is a there.
John, I'm a little confused. As you know, so it would be about an 8-feet high fence. And how far around the splash pad would it go? Would it be like halfway, all the way?
In the foreground of the picture you're looking at there, you'll see this seat wall. That red plane is just a holograph that's.
And that's all it's gonna be with the red is.
Yeah.
Cause I know a lot of people cut through the bushes through there too to get to the water from that area.
And we may not put that wing on there, so it goes straight. You're going into the storm pond if you go much past that.
Yes.
I'm no safety expert, but I know 18 inches is not very tall, but that would probably slow kids down. Why didn't you
That's the balance. It could be 20 inches.
No,
We
but I
want- we
mean,
want it to
I mean, this is a stupid, not a stupid question, but I mean, I'm not a, a safety expert, but people who ran this through, they thought 18 inches was high enough.
Yeah, they're the safety playground experts and architects and designers.
'Cause hopefully, once a kid is bigger than that, they know better.
At least slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think the rocks would slow them down some too.
And
Vegetation.
a lot of that is
That's
where,
ridiculous,
in the
man.
picture, you'll see the black push button right there. There's a next to
Yeah.
it's on a timer, so people that use the splash pad have to run over and hit the timer. So as soon as it goes off, everybody runs over and hits the timer, and some of them keep going. And
My dog loves it.
we really don't want on the other side to put a fence on the seawalls or even at the, kind of just kills the buzz of the whole thing.
I like it.
I appreciate you bringing it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
A good idea.
On, or you just,
No,
it's kind of our,
consensus is fine.
yeah, great.
You can see.
And this fence is gonna cost 50,000? No, I'm just.
No,
right?
a split rail. This is be a single split rail cedar
Oh, okay.
fence and materials just because of the cost of it.
Okay, got it. And then you think that'll fit in there well with, that's not gonna destroy the aesthetics of the area.
It'll be pretty invisible.
It'll match your kiosk.
There we go.
Brandon wanted the kiosk there and so do I.
Is the plan to someday go to metal or to put the split rail in? Hopefully it solves the problem and it'll be.
Hope the education group.
Atlantic, we need to put some nice stickers, some nice Oregon grape in there that
Yeah.
you can, fill it in and make a natural fence.
I'm just thinking blackberry bushes.
I'll make it, was it barberry, the red that grows intentionally and they plant it for that, but we're not trying to spread out much, yeah.
I saw that.
They're building Northwest Park, where they keep shredding the barberries. We want them to be big and keep.
Oh, since the
Escapers keep coming.
respond to the
Like,
hurricane.
pews.
Right, that's all I had, so.
Thanks, Josh.
And we appreciate you coming to our meetings to have on. Okay, so. Staff report, counselors report, Brandon?
All right, just a couple things. Wanted to thank you all for the good work that you do. I think we got a really great group now. It's been a while since we've had full board, so let's keep everybody here and keep plugging along. Thank you, Don and Jamie too, for being here. Welcome, Lori. I think it's obvious that you brought experience and you're worth your weight in gold already, so thanks for being here and contributing. Just an observation, I would recommend in the future, if somebody has a specific discussion item, just add it to the agenda. That way the board chair knows what they're working with, so if somebody wants to talk about the golf course, put the golf course on the agenda, or if somebody wants to talk about urban trail, put the urban trail, so that way we don't get to the end of the meeting and find out there's still 15 more items to be discussed. So if you have something specific, just add it to the agenda. That way we know what we're working with. Back to the roundtable questions thing, that came about when Dana was chair, and part of that was, I don't know, Jerry, you mentioned a couple of years, but I was thinking maybe a year ago, some dysfunction and contention started to creep into the group a little bit. And so after Dana and I talked, that was an idea that we came up with to kind of lessen some of that and give the commission members an opportunity to get to know each other better, and just some fun little questions. What's your favorite park and things like that, things, an opportunity for you guys to share. Just take a few minutes at the beginning of the meeting and kind of lighten the mood a little bit. So for Lori's benefit, that's what that was. So it was never anything structured or formal. So if you think about it, if that's something you want to continue or not.
Just a little advice, I would say, find out what works for this group. Cause there's always discussion about, well, this is how we used to do it, and this is what the commission used to do 10 years ago. That commission's gone. This is a new group. And like I say, I hope everybody sticks around for a while. I think you're all very talented and bring different strengths. So find out what works for you moving forward. Don't worry so much on the way it was done in the past, but I think anytime you get a new member or a new group makeup, a new chair, you have to find out what works for you. So do that. There are a lot of, you may have noticed, there's a lot of dysfunctional boards in this community right now. So let's not be one of them. I've come to a lot of contentious meetings in this room, and I can tell you it's not fun. And I look forward to coming to this one because it wasn't contentious and it wasn't dysfunctional. So I would like to see us get back to the point where it used to be and where we can move forward in a positive direction. So if I can help facilitate that in any way, let me know. I'm happy to help. But just today was kind of the first formal talk I've heard about the commission possibly going away. I think that would be a horrible thing to happen because you look at all the commissions that we used to have. You mentioned arts and culture. We had a historic landmarks commission that went away that's now kind of been combined with the planning commission that gets practically no time for discussion. So I think once a commission goes away, it's very difficult to ever get it to come back. So I'll be talking with council and seeing if we can come up with some ways to make sure that doesn't happen, because I think that would be a detrimental thing. So, and if you have any ideas, I'm happy to hear them. So, but no, just again, thank you guys for all that you do. We appreciate you. I got it.
Okay, thank you. Discussion items. Jerry.
I got 3 of them, not 5. Just 3. Okay,
You get 3 minutes, so let's go.
last.
No, it's only 5. Go till 6, don't we?
Last Saturday, Scott and Howard and myself, we poured 5 pads, 16 by 16 in Nob Hill Park. So when people come to trail intersections, they will eventually know which way to go. So eventually this will be painted on the 5 of them, and this will point the direction that you go. Okay. Another thing, I'm going to talk about the kiosk, and thanks to John. Good job, John. So where the kiosk is gonna, where Brandon decided the kiosk was gonna go, and I totally think that's a great spot for it. And eventually, when the river, the river walk is completed, it can be moved, off of this area, but I don't think it's in the way at all. So it's located, if you go down to this light pole, it's right on the other side of that light pole. So if you look on this map, should be approved. Should be approved. That's gonna be my next thing, yeah. So it would go right there. And you'd stand right here and you would be looking west. And I don't think John might not agree, but I don't think it would really distract very much from, the kiosk has already been made, okay? So it's just a matter of getting it installed, okay? So this is what I envision the kiosk to look like. It would, people would be standing, looking right up Walton Street. Be looking right up where the turnaround is. So they'd be looking at this, and there would be Urban Trail. And then we'd have this is my vision. I don't know who's going to finally design this, but we'd have the City of St. Helens logo like this, but it would be big. So it would say City of St. Helens. And then we'd have a map like this, that shows the trail. And then we're going to have a QR code that Ashley's going to install and make and everything. And then down below, have some pictures. And I recommend that we have these pictures: the boardwalk, the county courthouse, and the marina. And so when people stand there, So what's really holding us back is I talked about last week, I guess, one day. And it's a matter of getting permission to install the kiosk. Once the kiosk is installed, then we can work on putting it together. I'm not real skilled at making all this stuff, so. Someone's gonna have to probably do that other than me. But Ashley said she'd make the QR code. I guess we could blow these pictures up somehow so they would look pretty good. I don't know if they need to be laminated.
Yeah, probably lamination.
And Howard says that he's had very little vandalism of his. So the real big thing we need right now is we need permission to install the kiosk in the location that at least we walked down there one day and I guess we all agreed to it.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't pursued getting the approval for it is I'm waiting on weather, because I'm not gonna go up there and tear
No.
everything up to put that thing in, so it hasn't been a rush for me.
So
Get the,
like we're not, right, maybe before July 4th, maybe though.
it's a good goal.
But once we get the kiosk up and we mark the trail. We need to, Buck mentioned, I gotta get the guy, there's one guy that works for the Oregonian. I have his name and number and all that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna see if he'll write an article. Maybe see if Scappoose paper would write an article, and then you mentioned a guy named Chuck something?
No, I would go through Crystal.
No, the guy has a program, he said, so I never watched it.
No, you're talking about, it's been a Grant's Getaway.
Yeah, Grant
Grant
Kobe.
Grant's Getaways, the only person in the world who's never seen that.
Get away. I've never watched Grant's Getaway.
Had him
Have
out
you
on,
watched Grant's Getaway?
Not regularly, but I've seen it.
You've seen it, okay.
I've taken him out in
But-
kayaks before.
Okay, but see if, if he
Yeah.
would, see if we can get some, publicity for it, so people, as a destination. And the thing you gotta remember about the urban trail. It's like taking an old house. You take an old house. And you get it functioning, and then you keep upgrading it, So the urban trail is not gonna be the greatest thing in the world. But eventually, when the river walk's completed and it gets changed and other things gets done to it, I think it would be a walk that people in the region will come and do on a regular basis.
Cool.
I've got one last quick comment. Nob Hill, we're having our annual work party on April the 4th, Saturday. 1 to 3 o'clock. What's going on there?
Say 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3. We meet down by the kiosk. We're actually going to go down onto the veneer plant property and work on the lower cliff on the lower side of the park. I think I showed you where we're hoping to go, Buck. Kind of where that retention pond is. Hopefully there's a chance. I don't know if I need to talk to you. I don't think I can get it. So I could drive my truck in there with all the tools and that type of thing. So I could go through the gate if they.
Yeah, when we get closer, get a hold of me.
Okay. And one last thing, at the end of South Fourth. By the sign, we've got a small pile of trash that we've been pulling out of the park. You can pick it up and just probably only a garbage can's worth of stuff, but it's kind of growing. Okay. We're fine with the west area that we've got piled up there, just degrading in its spot for that.
Yeah, we'll get it tomorrow.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? Okay, I guess we can adjourn.
Oh, I do have one more question.
Okay,
We've come to adjournment. Are you prepared to change your mind about chairing, or do we need to figure that
that
out?
I was just forgetting that. I think I'd like to not be chair. I always said that I never really wanted to be, and the stress, I just don't want to be worrying about things at this time in my life on how things are going together and what's going to happen at the meetings. I still want to be on the commission. They said before, my chair was where I really
Now,
excel.
Paul is vice chair.
Paul's vice chair.
So somewhere down the line that we need to nominate and elect another vice chair.
Correct.
Or we need to vote on Paul being the chair, which is not automatic, but that's the norm.
I think my life would go easier and I just don't feel that I'm.
So you want
Have
that,
the
you want that
capability of
done,
leading.
you want that done for the next meeting? We can do it. We should be able to do it in less than 10 minutes.
Well, we're after 6 already.
Well, if we're gonna do it, we need to do it. You know,
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
we
yeah.
put something
yeah.
off, we put something off.
Nope,
Hey,
okay.
do it.
Do it real fast, okay.
Okay, then okay, you wanna resign then?
Yeah, from chair.
Okay, make a formal, I guess, what it is.
Okay. I'm officially saying I prefer not to be chair. I don't want the stress. I'd much rather put my talents into other things that the Parks Commission is doing.
Okay, I make a motion that we move Paul from vice chair to chairman of the Parks and Trails Commission, starting the day.
Second.
All those in favor?
And now we need a vice chair. I think we should do that. Who did we talk about last time? Wasn't it you, Ashley? Or was it?
I know
Lucas?
you.
I'm starting school.
That's a no, okay.
If I was around more, I'd say yeah, but
I don't wanna do it either. I don't want my name put in. I would make a nomination that we nominate Ashley, I got your last name Stanley, right?
Yeah.
That we nominate, that we, I make a motion that starting today that Ashley Stanley becomes the vice chair of the Parks and Trails Commission.
Willing?
I'm willing.
Vice chair is
Second.
very easy.
I second.
All those in favor?
All right,
Will somebody reach out to Paul and let him know?
Yeah, you should probably let him know.
vice chair should probably do
Is that my job? Okay, I'll let Paul know.
Thank you. It was interesting. I'm sorry for losing my temper earlier. Yes, we're adjourned then.